Okay, we're back with another big fight prediction. Florian Marku versus Rylan Charlton, live on Matchroom Boxing or Sky Sports or DAZN this weekend. Don't go anywhere. We're going to be breaking this fight down for you here on BWTM Sports Gaming. Okay, welcome to BWTM Sports Gaming. If you haven't subscribed already, please do smash the subscribe button. And if you're in the room and you're watching, also do hit the like button as well. So, interesting fight this weekend. I think could be fight of the night because you've got two guys who come forward and like to chop bombs and like to go for the knockout in Florian Marku and Rylan Charlton. So this is a good fight. So there's a lot of things I want to talk about, kind of like leading up to this fight, which may not be talked about that much or may not be considered. But I think we should consider them. So let's talk about them. So first and foremost, of course, Florian Marku had a fight recently on Sky, and he felt that the fight was not a draw, and he felt that that hurt his career. And he said, "No way that this guy that I just fought beat me, or it was not even close to be a draw. I was playing with the guy, and I got a draw for it." So he kind of feels hard done by. And psychologically, when you feel you've won a fight, and you feel that you've done all you can, or you've done all you feel you can, you've relaxed in a fight. I've won this fight, no problem. I won the fight, cool, no problems. You go to the judge's scorecard psychologically afterwards, and you know you've won that fight, and the judges have stolen it from you. One of two things can happen. One of the things that can happen is that you adjust your style, meaning the things that have got you to where you've got to so far, you become a guy that moves away from that, and the best things that are about you, you move away from that because of some poor judging. Or you take it on the chin and you keep on going. Now, from what Florian was saying in his press conference, he was saying, well, we've worked on a few more things. Some of the things that you can work on in a situation like this is that you want to finish fights off without leaving it in the judge's hands. And when you do something like that, that means you're going to push the fight, which means you're more likely to walk on to shots and more likely to get yourself knocked out because of what the judge have done in the previous fight, because you're paranoid of now the judges be on your back. And you start saying, is it because I'm Albanian? Is it because I'm a foreigner? Is it because you don't like my attitude? Don't know what's going on behind the closed doors, whether he's not a favorite fighter. I don't know. First time actually seen him fight, you see. So I see him a lot on Sky and I hear his name, but there's nothing that's made me maybe go look at him until now. So I found out more, an Albanian fighter, former world champion kickboxer, blah, blah, blah. So I've looked at his style, fast hands, carries a bit of a punch in him, comes forward, wants to go about his business in a manner, and because of the kickboxing background, does tend to leave himself square on, which means he opens himself up to getting tagged and can get knocked off balance because he's coming on square when he's throwing shots. Nice fast hands, puts that combination together quite well, and he doesn't mind getting stuck in. That's what I see of Florian Marku. Okay, so those are my thoughts on Florian Marku at the moment. So, yeah, Florian Marku. Now, next up to talk about is Rylan Charlton. Now, Let me tell you about Rylan Charlton for a second. This young man, the minute I saw him, the first minute I saw Rylan Charlton, I thought to myself, you know what? I like this kid. I like this kid a lot. He was a guy that wasn't meant to. He's a guy that didn't follow the script. He's a guy that he was meant to turn up against Lenny Dawes and get knocked out. Was it Lenny Dawes or Laws or whatever? Basically, the guy that Rylan Charlton fought, he was the golden boy. He was the guy that Matchroom was pushing. He was the guy that everyone was expecting. Like, Rylan had come from the small hall shows. So typically, with small hall fighters, I hate to be disrespectful, but they're basically cannon fodder for the Olympic gold medalists, the world champions, the top ABA fighters. They're generally, the small hall fighters are cannon fodder for the big fighters who invested in, the guys who are going to go and do big things in boxing. And not many small hall fighters generally are expected to make the jump and beat a guy like Laws, the other that he knocked out the other day. So when Rylan Charlton did that, the way he did it was so impressive. And I looked at that lad and said, who is he? Who's this guy? So immediately after the fight, I chased up, went and did the interview with him. And of course, you can see the interview on BWTM Sports on this channel, of course. The thing is, I get a spider sense. I get a feeling about certain fighters. And the way he was talking, quite confident, he reminded me of a young Nigel Benn. Not the way he was going about his business, not as reckless as Ben, but he had that sort of like mentality where he was, you know, I'm coming in there to have a real tear up. And I don't mind getting a tear up. You understand? I don't mind going there and trading with you. I know I can punch and I can take you out. And he actually moved up for that fight as well, in weight for that fight, for an opportunity. So again, he was there, the pint-sized man. I can't remember, pint-sized powerhouse. That's it. Rylan, the pint-sized powerhouse Charlton. He wasn't expected to win that fight. So he moves up in weight, expected to get bashed up, and actually does the bashing up of a guy that Matchroom were backing. Not because he did that, because the way he went about it. And the guy looks like he really looks impressive. He looks like he can fight. The thing I liked about Rylan when I was watching him fight was he was slipping punches, he was catching and shooting, he was showing elements of skill. It just wasn't a wild puncher in there. He's one of the few British fighters today that I like a lot. And if I can manage any fighter in the UK at the moment, the first guy I'd manage in British boxing would be Rylan Charlton. Why? Good-looking kid, articulate, can punch, looks like he's got a good work ethic behind him. He looks like he's got all the things there that you can work with. You know, if you take your time with him, he looks like a guy you can actually develop. Because once you're a likable type of individual, you've got a backstory, you're a good-looking lad. You know, any lad that you think you could put in a suit and you could model with, good-looking lad. You understand? And you can work with a lad like that. And he's very media-friendly, natural on the camera, and he can fight, and he can punch. So he's almost a total package there. We don't know just how good he is, but he hasn't had much time to really, well, you know what? He beats one of the Matchroom fighters, so they put another Matchroom fighter on with him, and he gets a contract with Eddie. So what is this? Is this another suck it and see situation? Is it another, well, if you beat this guy, we believe in you? Or is it a case of, well, you beat our guy before, we're not having it, you've upset the apple cart, now we need to bring you in and get you beaten up by Marku? Do you understand? It can be one of them ones. You just don't know. You just don't know in boxing. But I've seen enough nonsense in boxing to know that this is something that happens, you see? So I've seen guys come in boxing and beat up the chosen one, the golden boy. And then the promoter says, all right, you did that. Let's see what you can do more. So stick him in with a guy that's even better still to ensure that that guy gets a whooping. All right? I've seen it happen before. So what do I think of this fight? See, for Rylan Charlton, he now has to come off the high of winning that fight because there's an element of high about that fight. He was confident he was going to win that fight. So he knew there was an element about him that knew that he was good enough to win that fight. He was confident. He knew he was going to win the fight. So he had enough to back his abilities in a fight that a lot of people thought he was going to get bashed up in. Now he comes against Marku. Now, the judge's decision against Marku in his previous fight might work in Charlton's favour. And hear me out on this. Because Marku now doesn't trust the judges, he's more likely to try and rush and get Charlton out there and not leave it on the judge's scorecard. He's more likely to engage with Charlton and try and take Charlton's head off. Do you understand where I'm coming from this? He's more likely to go and try and take Charlton's head off. And if that's the case, if he does try to take Charlton's head off, he'll actually be walking onto... Between the two punches, Charlton is the more defensively responsible. Charlton's a guy that can be in a position like this where he's ducking and weaving. And from this position here, he's got he can catch a shot on the guard and come back with his own left hook. And Marku's open to the left hook. He's open to the right hand. And he's open to the uppercut. And the guy, if you look at the last opponent he fought, he got hit with the uppercut straight out the gate from the first round. Who's getting it with the uppercut? And that guy wasn't no puncher. So could you imagine what Charlton's going to do when he hits him? And Charlton is a big puncher. You just see a guy who can punch. And this guy can punch. You know, he can fight on the... He don't mind fighting on the inside. What I like about Charlton is that he's able to tuck up. And he can see what's going on. He's defensively responsible. He's not reckless. He'll let you throw shots at him. But when he's letting you throw shots at him, he's catching the shots. And he's under the guard. And he'll come up and then throw his left hook. You'll watch what he did against Laws. So, but Charlton's got to do what he normally does. He's just got to stay calm because Marku's going to come to him. He's got to let Marku come to him. And when Marku comes to him, catch and shoot. And walk and force Marku back just by walking him back. Guard up, walk Marku back, walk him onto the back foot. And the other thing is when Marku comes rushing with them punches from southpaw to orthodox, when he does the switch, catch him in between the shots. Now Marku's got fast hands. That might disrupt Charlton. But when he's letting his hands go, Charlton's got to let his hands go as well. He's got to get inside and rip and go. Marku throws a nice shot to the body. He does like to go downstairs to the body. Charlton have to watch that as well. But yeah, he's got a great chance to win this fight by knockout. Simply because I believe Marku's going to come out and try and force the fight to make sure he doesn't get beaten points. Yeah? Because of what's happened in his previous fight. He's going to say, no, I'm not having this happen to me again. I'm not going to get caught in this situation again. So, for Rylan Charlton, he's just got to go back to, you know what, forget about the Laws fight. It's done. This is the fight now. This guy's going to come at him. He's going to come at him. Whether he goes orthodox or southpaw, your chin is still the same. You don't get a southpaw chin or an orthodox chin. You still get nailed the same way. So he's got to capitalize on the fact that Marku will turn southpaw or orthodox and southpaw. He's got to wait for Marku. As he goes to switch, as he's mid-switching, bang, catch him. That's one way you can catch him. The other way you can catch him is that he's open. He's open to, I can see, he's open to the uppercut. He's open to a whole heap of punches. You know, while he's throwing his own punches, he's not defensively responsible. What that means is you throw all these punches, but you're not thinking about the guy throwing punches back. And the guy he fought, I think it was Jimmy Stewart, the last fight. Say mid to late rounds, I saw that Stewart caught his attention for a couple of shots, hit him with some shots, and he smiled and he said, "Oh yeah, you got me with that shot." Well, I'll tell you something. If Charlton hits him with the right hand or the left hook, he won't be smiling, that's for sure. if I'm going to go somewhere in this fight, and maybe I'm just being biased, but between the two guys, Marku, of course, has got that extensive background as a kickboxer, but that's kickboxing. And coming into boxing with a square, a style you're getting square, plus the opponent you fought last time, I just think that not only that Rylan Charlton's explosive power, but his ability to catch and shoot is going to be key. The only thing I think that could be an issue here for Rylan is that if Marku's got too much hand speed, that when he actually goes to throw his punches, he himself leaves himself open to get tagged. But I don't think that's going to be the case. I think that Charlton's going to stay close. I think he's going to wait for his opportunities. I think I expect Marku to razzle dazzle, but in between that razzle dazzle and he's throwing them shots, I expect him to get nailed with something big and go and get stopped by Rylan Charlton. So I'm expecting another knockout win by Rylan Charlton in this fight. I actually think the young man's got the goods. I just think that he doesn't need to be getting fast-tracked. And that's, unfortunately, one of the things with going to Matchroom. They don't understand talent. Do you understand? They don't know how to harness talent and turn that talent into sustainable, to make them into pay-per-view stars. And I think Rylan Charlton's another one of these guys that could become a pay-per-view star if nurtured right. But that won't happen under Matchroom because they just crash and burn economy, crash and burn. And now with COVID, it's even worse. So when you sign to Matchroom, you're on a fast track. You're on a fast track. I hear that they're going to try and fast track now. They're going to put Craig Richards, who just won a British title. They're going to try and put Craig Richards in with Dimitri Bivol. Why would you do that? The guy just won a British title. Now they're trying to force and push this guy into a world title shot. Have you heard such craziness? Craig Richards versus Dimitri Bivol. Are you serious? They have no idea of talent. They don't know how. They do not know how to harness the of talent. And don't tell me, look what they did with Anthony Joshua. Exactly. Look what they did with Anthony Joshua. They gave you the Andy Ruiz fight. They were foolish to stick him in with Andy Ruiz when he could have fought Trevor Bryan instead. Now, when you think about Trevor Bryan and you look at Andy Ruiz, which fight would you have taken? Just because there was some ego in the way you didn't want to do deal with Don King. Well, I didn't say that. Leo Mohammed said that. So, and then, of course, the unforgivable Wilder Joshua fight that never happened. That was unforgivable as well. So, I don't hear anybody come tell me anything about they know how to look after talent. They don't know how to look after talent. They've ruined so many talented fighters. So many talented fighters. I just hope that there's no funny stuff on Saturday night for Rylan and he can continue his streak. It's a good fight. It's a damn good fight. It could be a fight of the night. Again, on the undercard of Josh Kelly against David Avansany. I will do a fight. I'll do a fight preview and breakdown for that fight too as well, coming up soon. All right, that's it from me. Again, don't forget to rate, subscribe, and leave your comments. As always, this is BWTM Sports Gaming. You've been watching. Thanks.